believe I am live. Hello. Hopefully I'll have a couple of people joining. Just check that I am live. I think I am. Fabulous. So, hi everyone. Hope you are doing well. How's your weekend been going? Hope that's all good. My weekend has been a bit tiring, but it's been good. I had my friend's birthday yesterday, which was nice. We had a karaoke night, and before that, I was actually doing all the content for the training on Thursday, so I'm very excited. Hi, Ali. Hope you're well. How's your Sunday been going? Hope your weekend is going all okay. I think people are starting to join now, which is exciting. So, how are you guys doing? Hello. Yes. Hi, Purgatory. I never know if that's like the right one, but yes, Integrated Purgatory. Hope you're doing okay. How's everything going? Can't wait till Thursday. Me neither. So I'm so excited about it. And yeah, the content that I've been doing this weekend, it's honestly a beast. So if you are coming to the training, just make sure you bring your notes, like pen and paper, bring it, because there's so much that I want to talk about. So I'm very excited for that. Hi, Ifraz. Hope I've said your name right. How are you doing? Hi, Lisa. Hope you're okay. How's it going? How's your weekend going? Hope you guys are all okay. Did I see the supply chain meltdown? No, I've not. I've not actually watched the news this weekend. So, yeah, tell me more about it, because I've not heard that there's been a supply chain meltdown. Although part of me is not too surprised, just because there's been so many supply chain problems anyway within the past few months. So, yeah, let me know sort of what's been going on there. Hi, Teresa. How are you? Hope you're doing okay. How's your weekend been? Let me know, guys. But yeah, I think one of the things that I did want to talk about today, actually, because I started talking about it on my Instagram. So if you guys don't follow me on Instagram, be sure to follow me on Instagram. It's literally just Veronia Spain. And I went live on there for the first time, I think, on Thursday, and it wasn't planned. I literally just went live, and some people joined me, which was so nice. But I essentially just wanted to talk about things like financial independence, why I'm working towards financial independence, and then also why I think everyone should be working towards financial independence, because I actually do think it's quite important for everyone. Hi, Rachel. Hope you're okay. How's your weekend been? Hope it's been good. But yeah, so I wanted to talk about financial independence in a bit more detail, because I feel like there's these kind of buzzwords that we see, but we don't really sit down to think about, is it actually achievable, and why you might want financial independence. So let me talk about what financial independence is first, if you don't really know what it basically is. So it's, for me, in my own terms, it's basically me not having to trade time for money. So essentially, I have these certain assets or investments that will essentially pay for my lifestyle, so my expenses. So, things like your rent or your mortgage, groceries, any utility bills and things like that. So you have certain investments that are essentially paying for that, which means you don't actually have to work. And I think that's really important to understand, in that whenever we talk about financial independence, a lot of people think that financial independence means retiring early, because if you've heard of the FIRE movement, financial independence, retire early, that's basically what it is. But there's a lot of misconceptions around that, because just because you're financially independent does not mean you need to retire early, and does not mean you should stop working. They're completely two different things. Of course, if you want to retire early and actually stop working, that's obviously up to you, and a lot of people will prefer that, and they're actually working towards that. But for me, I'm also working towards financial independence, in that it basically means I almost have that security. So I kind of want to talk about what financial independence means to me, and then really just question you guys, and you can let me know in the chat, but what do you think financial independence means to you? Because it's going to be personal for everyone. But for me, it's actually more so having both the security and the freedom. So when I'm talking about security, what I essentially means is, if anything was to happen where when it comes to my income, so whether I'm working in a job or maybe I'm like working in a business, but whatever it is, if anything was to happen to that income and that income completely changed today, I would still be okay because I have certain assets paying for my lifestyle. So essentially, I don't need to have to worry and I don't need to work to pay bills, because most people, like a lot of people, actually work just to pay bills. And so for me, just having that security, knowing that if anything happened, or if I decided actually I want to take a career break, or I decided that maybe I want to, go on like a sabbatical or just go traveling for a couple of months, I am not essentially worried because I am financially secure in that I have assets paying for all of my expenses. So that's part of the reason why, for me, financial independence is really, really important. The other bit is, of course, having that freedom. So just being able to do, what you want, like I mentioned, if I want to go traveling, or I just don't want to work for like, I don't know, a few weeks or a month, I can still do that. Which obviously doesn't mean like retiring like really early, but it's still having that freedom to be able to work, when you want, and do what you want as well. Like you might decide, actually, I'd prefer to work part-time and spend more time like with my children, for example, or bringing up my family. So there's like different things. So I'd be really curious to know like what you guys think about financial independence. What does it mean to you? Teresa says it means to be able to stand on your own 2 feet and not have and to not have to rely on anyone. Also having a nest egg in case something goes wrong. Exactly. Literally, I think you've said it. Like that is basically part of my explanation. That's a big reason why I want to be financially independent. And again, I think even if you don't want like the flexibility of like maybe not working, or just like reducing your hours or whatever, for me, I think everyone should be striving for that financial independence just for the security, because we have no idea like what can happen. I mean, look at the past 18 odd months. Like no one could have predicted that. And so I think it's really important to us to really reflect on that and just think, do you know what, like when it comes to our actual financial security, like how financially secure are we, and what do we need to do today in order for us to change that and actually, become more financially secure? So I really want you guys to just question that and just kind of start thinking about it, because I think it's important, and I think like it's something we don't necessarily talk about very often. Like I know there's this idea of, of course, living for today, which is great, and like I will never tell you again, like never spend your money, but we also want to start thinking about our future as well, because we have no idea like what's going to go on. And to be honest, let's not even lie to ourselves. Like I know that everyone says like you might not live for tomorrow, but let's not lie, there's a high chance you're probably going to be living for tomorrow and for a good few years as well. So you really just want to make sure that you're better prepared for that. And you never really hear people say that they regret investing their money or anything like that, because even if you have a bit more money, you can do other things with that. Like you could even choose to give it away, for example. So for me, I think it's just something that we really should be striving for and we really should be focusing on. Ali says, having the freedom to quit my job without any problem. Yeah, exactly. Like if you realize that this job isn't for you and you don't like it, then literally you have the option to focus on doing something else. And again, maybe you want to reduce your hours, maybe you want to work in a completely different industry, but maybe that doesn't pay as much, but you will be okay because again, you've got investments paying for your lifestyle. So I think it's really important. Teresa typing too fast. No worries. There's not enough workers in the supply chain industry to deliver all the goods around due to unfavorable working conditions and pay. Also, COVID-19 is exacerbating. Plus, people panic buying. Okay, yeah. I mean, yeah. What can you do? But yeah, I mean, there's always that kind of links to, I guess, the like petrol crisis as well, which was a bit horrific. And yeah, the panic buying. Yeah, I thought we'd been done with that a couple of years ago. I thought that'd been over, but clearly not. Clearly, people are still panic buying. So I'd be really interested to to see what they're now buying these days. Hi Eva, no worries if you're a few, no worries being a few minutes late. No, we're just having a bit of a chat in terms of financial independence, why I think it's important and that everyone should be striving for, and something that we should really be thinking about. Even though, you may not, like a lot of people, we're not going to be financially independent, within the next year. But I just want you guys to start thinking, what can I do today to get me closer to that goal of being financially independent? Because I'm not saying that you should just now go start investing all your money and basically live on beans and rice, as Dave Ramsey says. I'm definitely not saying that, but I think just start thinking about it and start thinking about, what does financial independence mean to you? Like, what would you be able to do if you were financially independent, and what would your lifestyle be? Would you still be working in the same job, or would you maybe be working in, would you be having a different job, or would you be working different hours? Things like that. What kind of hobbies would you be doing? Like, I think it's really important, even though we like always think about like the money side, there's also the lifestyle aspect. And I think that's maybe something that we miss sometimes. And for me, it's me thinking about, okay, what is my life going to be like if I am financially independent? That kind of gives me the motivation to continue, working towards it. But then also at the same time, you want to enjoy the journey as well. So that's why literally I'm probably one of those people that will never tell you to just start scrimping and saving. Like, as much as I love saving money, I don't think you should literally just be living on the cheap all the time and just not enjoying your life today, because obviously, you're living for today. You don't want to just literally just invest all of your money and just not have anything for today. So there's always like a balance. Like, how do you enjoy the journey whilst you're en route to actually working towards financial independence, but also again still preparing for your future so that you can reach financial independence? So there's a bit of both, and you can even start thinking about what can you do today that will almost even, I don't know, just kind of encourage you to enjoy that journey as well. So maybe it is, thinking about working in another job. Maybe it's changing employers, for example, which means that you're going to be a lot more happier. Maybe you've just decided to change industries. Maybe you decide actually to start your own business, for example, because you feel a lot more fulfilled for that, by that. And that almost kind of maybe, I don't know, like you could almost feel like you're almost financially independent because you're actually doing something that you love. So yeah, I feel like I didn't mean to go so deep. I feel like I've been a bit deep in this in today's live, but I just kind of wanted to talk to you guys about that and just, get you guys to start thinking about that stuff, as well as, how you can, manage your money well and things like that. Just start thinking about those long-term goals, like start thinking about those long-term financial goals, because I think they are important. Yeah, beans and rice, like, it's such an interesting one. Like, I definitely see, especially when Dave Ramsey is talking about like getting out of debt, in terms of like actually making those huge sacrifices. Like, I definitely understand it. And actually, I think he even says, like, once you've basically, paid off your high interest debt and you've got like an emergency fund, that's when you can almost take like your foot off the pedal a little bit, and you can actually start to enjoy your money as well as grow your money, and obviously prepare for things like financial independence as well. So yeah, there's a balance of both. Exactly, Teresa, you've got to find a balance. Like, for us, I think even when I look at my budget, we actually save and invest quite a lot, but it doesn't mean we don't enjoy our money. Like, we should have date nights. Date nights are always planned in the budget, guys. Like, if you see my budget, like, you guys will know, like, date nights are always planned, and it just doesn't necessarily go to plan. And it's not because the money's not there. Like, the money's there, we just don't end up using it as much as we should. But what I'm trying to say is, like, yes, we save and invest quite a lot of our money, but we also have money that's there to enjoy. And we also have like our personal like spending money, and that's for me to like enjoy. And like, if I want to go out to dinner with my friends, like, I can do that as well, and things like that. So there's definitely always a balance. You just need to figure out, what is the balance, and also what you value most. Like, for us, financial independence is quite a big thing for us. So it's something that we're striving for. And so we're putting more of our energy towards that. But then obviously at the same time, it doesn't mean that we can't live life. like you want to be able to do both, but like there is going to be like a balance that tilts, and for us it's more so towards like savings and investments, but we still enjoy life at the same time. Could you do another food challenge at a more higher food retailer? Which food retailer would you say? Like, let me know which one would you want us to go to? I'd be interested to see, because I would say actually, so this month one of the weeks we went to Lidl, because I think we were going to see my family and they basically live near a Lidl. And we actually ended up spending more than we do at Aldi. So we ended up spending about £40, which I think is like probably around $60 at Lidl, and usually Aldi will spend around 34. So I was quite surprised at that, because I used to love Lidl, like I used to absolutely love Lidl, and I was like, I wonder why we've actually spent a bit more money there. It could be like the things that we were buying, like some of the things that we were buying, probably, I don't know, maybe if we bought that in Aldi, it'd come up to the same price. But yeah, I was quite surprised at that, and I always had that question. I was like, is Aldi actually cheaper than Lidl? Because I always kind of thought that they were basically the same. Like, they're both really cheap. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, Lidl is still like really, 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 really good when it comes to its prices. But yeah, I thought that was just quite interesting to see. So yeah, what do you guys think? Like, if you got a Lidl or Aldi, which one do you think is cheaper? Let me know. Eva says, financial independence for me is the freedom. Yep, I had a sabbatical last year. I lost my job, and with the lockdown, I was enjoying staying at home and not worrying about work. By the way, I made more money too. You see, love that, Eva. Yeah, it's just having that freedom and just, kind of not being worried, and just knowing if anything was to happen, it's fine. Like, you're prepared. I can't see us ever saving 3 to 6 months wages like Dave Ramsey says to do. It's way too much. It's way too much money. With the emergency fund, I do think an emergency fund is really, really important. And again, the reason being is just because, if anything was to happen, like you lost your job, you don't necessarily, like, if you have investments, you don't want to have to sell your investments because you need cash. So that's why personally I actually prefer having like an emergency fund, because I want to know that I have cash, even though it may be losing my value to inflation, but that's basically my security. That is basically my insurance. And then I also have my investments. So if I then lose my income, I don't need to sell my investments. And particularly, I don't want to have to sell my investments at a loss as well, because if you were, say, like 18 months ago when the stock market crashed, if you lost your job and you didn't have an emergency fund, but you had investments, you may have had to sell your investments at a price that's a lot lower than you may have bought them. So you really want to just think about that. Like, for me, the cash can be king and queen, like in terms of things like having an emergency fund. After that, that's when I really start thinking about, okay, like, investments, like how you actually grow your money. But for me, like having like some form of capital is quite important to me. How many months do you save up for bills in case you lose your job? So for us personally, I'd say we have about 4 months worth of expenses, I would say. So, and that's basically if both of us lost our job. That's how much we have. So if both of us lost our job at the same time, we have about 4. In fact, we could probably, to be honest, we could probably stretch it to 6 to 7 months, I would say. So for us, that, like, the worst case scenario is both of us losing our jobs. I don't think that would probably happen. I would personally like to actually think about maybe bringing it up to probably 6 months, particularly if it comes to a time where maybe things change, like if we eventually buy a house and get a mortgage and things like that. I probably will want to bring that up, but for now we have about 4 months, which could probably stretch to 6 months if we really had to just think about our essential bills, like just pure bones. It'll probably stretch to 6 months, but again, that's with literally both of us losing our job. If it was just me losing my job, we wouldn't actually even need an emergency fund, because we technically just live on one person's income anyway. Like, we basically live on one person's salary. So yeah, we don't have we don't have a lot of expenses. Hi, Verenia. Hi, Eliab. Thank God I had an emergency fund. So when my temp job came to end the pandemic, I could afford to stay at home. Yeah, exactly. So it's just things like that. Like you want to be prepared, and you don't want things to be, I always say, like, you want things to be an inconvenience, not a total disaster. So yeah. Dave Ramsey does not say saving 3 to 6 months. Yeah, exactly. It's not wages, it's expenses. You can begin little by little. Exactly. Yeah, like Dave Ramsey says, aim to save 1K. Yeah, which by the way, like, it took us a few months even to be able to get to the point where we had like 4 to essentially 6 months worth of expenses. So yeah, it will take a while, but like, as long as you're starting to work towards it, I think it's important. Aldi is our place, and we spent £34. Oh, amazing, this week, and that's for 2 adults and 2 kids. Wow, Rachel, that is amazing, because we spent like 34, and that's just for us two. So for you to spend it on like 2 adults and 2 kids, that is amazing. Like, you need to let us know how you do it, because yeah, we basically spend that much each week. Food prices have gone up everywhere as far as I can see, including Lidl. Yeah, we have noticed that food prices have gone up, or like, there's certain foods, like if you saw on Instagram, like if you follow me on Instagram, then you know, like, we had about 31 left in our food budget for the week, and I was really wondering whether we'll actually still keep to that. Like, so we went shopping. Like, we always have like our list, and we plan out everything anyway. Like, the one thing we don't always do is like really like make sure we like calculate the cost. Like, when we go Aldi, we just put stuff. Sometimes I don't have time to be looking at like each individual cost and adding up everything. Like, sometimes I really don't have time. Like, we'll just buy everything, and then we'll just see at the end what happens. But obviously we already have our list, so we know exactly what we're buying. So yeah, there was some stuff in Aldi that we would usually buy, like eggs, for example, that just weren't there. It was literally finished by the time we got there. And it's not like we went to Aldi very late. It was like after work. So then we had to go Tesco to buy certain things. Like, even like a pasta sauce that we were looking for, Aldi had run out. So we had to go to Tesco. So yeah, there's clearly like some problems going on. For us, I thought we would maybe need to increase our food budget. We haven't yet. We've actually still been keeping to it. I'm not going to say too much more, because I'm going to be doing a budget update video on Tuesday. So make sure you check that out. But yeah, I mean, it's like, I can see that there are some food prices increasing. But I think it maybe also depends on like things that you buy as well. Aldi isn't good for people with food intolerances. Oh, really? I didn't know that. Maybe it depends like what food tolerance you have. Because I know, like, for example, my sister's lactose intolerant. So she can only, obviously she can't eat dairy. I will say that though, that's a problem as well, actually, because sometimes, like, I don't know if I'm supposed to eat dairy, but sometimes, like, there's certain things I can't buy in Aldi or Lidl. Like, for example, like with their cheese, I don't think they do lactose-free cheese, because I'm always looking for lactose-free cheese, and they never have it. So there's certain things where I will then have to go to like Tesco or something, or yeah, Tesco now. Sometimes it used to be Sainsbury's when I was living at my old house. But yeah, there will be sometimes where we do have to go to certain supermarkets because they don't have it. They don't have the popcorn that I want, sweet and salted popcorn. Like, most of you guys will know that I really enjoy sweet and salted popcorn. So usually we'll go to Tesco to buy it. But the bulk of the stuff that we have, we'll buy it in Aldi or Lidl. But yeah, it's a shame that they don't really cater too much for people with food tolerances. A few comments here. Let me go back up. Try Waitrose or Marks and Spencer's. Now, I'm not gonna lie, that would be a challenge. If I did that, I think I'd have to increase our food budget for the month. Yeah, I actually think we would. If you said like Tesco or like a Tesco, I'd be like, we could probably just about do it. But Waitrose or Marks and Spencer, yeah, I don't even know if we have a Waitrose or Marks and Spencer near me. So yeah, that'd be really interesting. So I'll note that down. I'll put it on my pad. I'll need to see if we have one near us, but I definitely wouldn't do it for the month, because yeah, that means our food budget will probably go out the window. Might do it for a week. Can't make promises, But if enough people are asking for Waitrose or Marks and Spencer's, then I shall consider it. Yep, Eva says begin with small steps. Yeah, in terms of the emergency fund, yes, the first 1,000 is always difficult, but once you reach that, it's much better. Getting rid of debt is really important too. Yeah, I definitely would agree. I think, like, you guys already, I don't know if you've seen a video where I basically spoke about how long it took me to save my first £1,000 or dollars, depending where you're from. Like, it literally took me more like 6 months or something to save it. And that's the hardest. But once you reach that, it does tend to get easier. At least it did for me anyway. I can manage 1K emergency, but saving thousands for expenses. Should hubby lose his job, we would be stuck. Yeah, I mean, like, it doesn't, for me, it's just something that you just maybe want to be mindful of and just continuously thinking about. You know, if you put a certain amount away each month, like, just to say, okay, this is going to be set aside for our emergency fund, like, you'll be surprised at how much you end up saving. But you just really want to be intentional with it, and you also need to figure out, you know, how much would we be comfortable when it comes to an emergency fund. Because, like, for us, 4 months for 4 months of expenses is pretty much good for us. But that's based on, number one, our attitude to risk, because literally, worst case scenario, if both of us lost our jobs, I'm not gonna lie, we probably move into someone's parents' house, or like a shared accommodation or something. Like, literally, the absolute worst case scenario. Like, I'm sure we would basically do something. But then it's just us two. Like, I don't have kids, for example. Like, we don't have kids, for example. So it's going to be different compared to, like, another family that may have children, for example, or, like, again, like a mortgage currently. So yeah, it's really going to depend. Like, it will depend on, like, your attitude to risk and also your incomes as well. Like, for example, with my husband's job, his is quite stable, where he works like in the public sector. So he probably wouldn't lose his job, whereas with mine, like, they'd just be making redundant. I'm not, okay, I won't say anything, but I would just say with my sector, there's usually a lot of changes. So yeah, you want to think about that. For me, Waitrose and Marks and Spencer's are high-end shops. Not everyone can afford to do their big shop there, or even want to spend more money on their financial journey. Yeah, I mean, they're definitely the only thing I think I bought from Marks and Spencer is, like, I don't know if they still do it, but they used to do, like, these £10 meal deals where you get, like, a starter and main and dessert for £10, and it's like a meal for two. Like, that's when I went to Marks and Spencer, and I happily went there, and it was, like, great, because then that was basically part of our date nights. But yeah, that's kind of all I've bought from them, from those stores. Yeah, Lidl and Aldi prices are up as well. Yeah, I am still thinking whether we'll need to increase our food budget at the moment. We have still, it's been okay. It's been okay. Obviously, you guys will know on Tuesday, but yeah, I'll be evaluating whether we should. If your hubby lost his job, you will be in a worse situation, right? So yeah. Who fails to plan to fail? Yeah. So I do think it's really important. Teresa says, working on our savings goals. That's great. Yeah, I know. Amazing. 34 on food for the week for 2 adults and 2 kids. Like, that's amazing. Eliab says, I must eat too much. Yeah, I don't know, because my husband eats quite a lot as well. And I remember, like, telling you guys, I wasn't sure if, like, 34 would have been enough for both of us, because I know he does eat. But what I've realized is there are certain foods that we can make where he can still get really big portions. Like, for us, like, we'll have, like, I'll make a lot of stew, which actually isn't that expensive, and you can basically bulk it as well. And, like, we have things like jollof rice as well, which you can literally just make, like, a big batch, and you can bulk buy some of the stuff as well. So, like, for example, rice we don't actually get from Lidl and Aldi. Rice, we either get it from, like, the supermarket, or I think the last time maybe we even got it from Tesco. I think actually we got this from the supermarket, but it's like a huge bag of rice that we bought months ago. And that will literally take us, like, months to eat, like, months. We don't eat rice all the time, but it will take us so long to eat, because we've just bought, like, a massive pack. And so it means you can literally make, like, huge batches as well. So could potentially think about doing that. When I tried Aldi for a month, I had to also use Tesco as my daughter. Oh yeah, it's gluten free and veggie. Yeah, because my sister no, she's just lactose intolerant. Sometimes like she can only there's certain foods that she also can't eat, and so she has to go to things like Sainsbury's instead. But yeah, I feel like maybe if there's some things that you can maybe buy in Aldi and then some things you can buy in Tesco, that might be a good option. Like that's what we do. Like sometimes like we'll buy most of our stuff in Aldi, and then we'll try and anything else that we can't get at Aldi, we'll just get at Tesco. Yes, to be fair, I always get extra at Tesco as it's close to us. Thank goodness for club card prices. Yep, it was my birthday, so we did eat out a little bit. Yeah, I mean, we're the same. So we have a club card as well. So it does make things cheaper. So if you don't have a club card, maybe consider getting that because that can be useful. Yep, you'll reach those savings goals. I have a Tesco subscription. Oh, okay, $7.99 a month and 10% off 2 shops over 40 a month. Good for me as I do my shop and my mum's. Oh, wow. I didn't even know that actually Tesco did a subscription. So that's really interesting. Is that in terms of, so is this, okay, so the subscription is to have 10% off 2 shops. Okay, that makes sense. I haven't heard anything about Asda in a while. Are they good? Yeah, for me, we don't have an Asda near us. Like my husband used to shop at Asda literally all the time. Like before he got married, that was literally his store. He preferred it. Like he did not want to start shopping at Aldi because he loved Asda. But yeah, I think you can actually get some quite good deals in Asda. Sometimes it can be expensive, like where I've seen, like when I used to shop there. I didn't used to shop there all the time, but like I get a few things. But you can really get some good deals at Asda. So that's something you could potentially look at. Are groceries included in expenses to save for you've got to eat? Yes, yeah. Although like because our groceries isn't like huge, it could honestly like your expenses are going to be based on what you view as essential expenses. Like personally on my budget, I actually have groceries as part of my spending category rather than essential bills category. The only reason for that is because, like, literally, worst case scenario, if I had to rejig things in my budget, then I could rejig my food budget, basically. But if I was thinking about, things like my emergency fund, then of course, like, there'll need to be some money for like groceries because you're not going to like pay for your utility bills and then starve for like 6 months. You're not going to do that. So yeah, so that's something that you might want to take into consideration. Gas, petrol, national insurance, and tax rises in horizon. Yeah, it's all a lot now. So I think that's why we even need to just be so much more conscious about our spending, and not just like I don't mean like just penny pinching, but even things like when it comes to petrol, like, are you getting the best deal possible? Because there are some petrol stations where you will not catch me there, because for the same unleaded petrol, I'm paying like twice the amount that I could be basically paying if I just went to another petrol station. So it's just small things like that you just want to just be a bit conscious of. But obviously things like national insurance, we can't really do anything about it. It's affecting us all. But yeah, you just want to be a bit more conscious. Cooking food at home, so much fun. I get to test out different herbs and spices. Yeah, and I mean, I know like not everyone loves cooking at home. I personally do enjoy cooking at home. But yeah, there's certain things that you could potentially, think about. Like maybe you get like a slow cooker. We have a slow cooker, so sometimes that makes it a bit easier. So you don't always have to like always be cooking. And again, I batch some of my cooking. I haven't really been doing that the past few weeks. It's been quite bad, but that's literally just because like work's been a bit crazy. But usually I will just try and like batch, and like on Sunday I'll like try and like cook a couple of meals for the week, so I don't have to worry about doing it during the week. Love. All right, cooking for, yeah, our rice is about 45p. Yeah, I know. You can get rice for cheap. For me, I also still care about quality, because I remember there was one time like I bought like Lidl's cheapest rice, I think. Was it Lidl or Asda? Anyway, it's one of them. It was like one of my food budget challenge videos. If you haven't checked it out, you can check it out. But I did that, and it was very starchy. Like, even though I washed it out like 10 times, it was still quite starchy. So yeah, I wasn't too much of a fan. But yeah, like, like whatever you value, like I like to have I like to have good quality rice. I'll just say that. Yeah, love those big bags of rice. Yeah, so if I could just get like a huge bag, that will literally set us up for months to come. How do you do a roast chicken in a bag for 380? Oh, that's cool, which is good. I didn't actually know that. Although sometimes it's probably because I like season my chicken myself, so that's probably why I haven't noticed it. I've tried recreating takeaway dishes at or just even oven foods, and I'm loving it. Oh, that's really cool. I should start doing that. Actually, we did actually one time. We do sometimes do that. It's just nice to experiment. 3 to 6 months monthly expenses. That includes, yep, rent, mortgage, food, bills, electricity, utilities, taxes, basic clothing, and transport. Yeah, yeah. So basically, like most things that are probably essential plus food, you probably want to pay for. Um, Tesco also do Christmas savers. I saved over 200 a few years ago. This year I'm getting 91. Yeah, I mean, like, honestly, like, you just need to think about like what's best for you. Like, just because I shop at Aldi, I'm not going to go and tell everyone drop your supermarkets and just shop at Aldi. You just really want to figure out like where's the best value for money, and you also still want to think about quality as well, because again, like, I'm not going to go and tell you to like just be cheap. Like, I know I did that in my food budget challenges, but I don't live on £10 or dollars a week. Okay, like, we don't do that. We eat well in this house. We obviously don't spend as much as some people, but I genuinely think that's just because of like some of the things that we buy from Aldi is can be just quite cheap already anyway, and also because like we plan our meals and things like that. So yeah, you just need to be a bit savvy and yeah, do what works for you. I love cooking. It saves money too, and you can adapt the recipes to your taste. Yes, exactly, exactly. Just make sure you got your right seasonings, and you're all good. I like to link everything with Tesco, like home insurances, our loans with Tesco phones, etc. Plus, we shop there. Wow, Teresa, you're a massive fan of Tesco. Like, I hope they're treating you well. I hope hope they appreciate it. But yeah, if you've obviously got like good deals and like for me, I just always like will try and shop around as well, just to make sure I'm getting the best deal. And that's some of the easiest ways like you can actually save money as well, which is good, which partly I'll be talking about that as well in my free training. So guys, like, if you're a woman and you haven't signed up for my free training, make sure you do. It is on Thursday. I'm very excited, but yeah, we'll essentially be talking about some of this stuff in terms of like financial independence, saving money, like managing money in general, and then like thinking about, how you can actually start investing your money as well. So I'll make sure I leave the link in case you haven't signed up. I think we're at 157 women have signed up, which is crazy. I'm very excited. But yeah, make sure you sign up. It will be in the description as well, and of course you can DM me if you have questions. Since moving house, we use Morrison's fuel instead of Tesco, as it's closer to not getting those cup cards. So not getting those cup cards points anymore. Yeah, actually, we get our petrol a lot from Tesco actually, just because I really used to get it from our Asda, but again, that was before we moved. Now we don't have an Asda petrol station near us, so Tesco is pretty much the next best thing. Oh, I used to work at Tesco. Right, Teresa, that explains some of it. That really explains some of it. Um, what tea what tea do you like the best? That's an interesting question. I don't think anyone's ever asked me like what tea do I like the best. So I basically drink herbal tea all the time. Like, all the time. I don't actually drink English breakfast tea very often. Like, I genuinely don't remember. Like, unless it's the last option, that's all I drink. But usually I'll drink green tea in the morning, and then I will have lemon and ginger or raspberry during the day, and then I'll have peppermint in the evening. So yeah, that's the kind of tea I like. A friend of mine got her first job as a cashier in Tesco too. Yeah, do you know what? I never worked in. Oh, no coffee. No, no, no. I don't drink coffee. My husband drinks coffee. I don't drink coffee. It's I just don't like it personally. Not to say that I don't like people that don't like coffees. No, 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 because my husband drinks it. So we all have coffee in the house, but I don't actually drink it. So yeah, I just drink tea, herbal tea, herbal tea anyway. Yeah, I've never worked in a supermarket. My first job was at the perfume shop. That was my first job. That was kind of like, I was like a retail assistant, I think it's called. So yeah, I worked there. I worked weekends for 7 months. Didn't like missing my weekends with family. Yeah, honestly, it can be tough. I think luckily for me, like being when we worked at the perfume shop, we did have to work weekends, but it wasn't too late. I think we always finished at like 5:30. So yeah, but again, there's things like having to work bank holidays as well, which was not always fun, but I'm the same. I love herbal tea, especially matcha green tea. I need to try matcha green tea because I've not actually tried it before, and I heard it's absolutely amazing. So I need to try that out. But yeah, herbal tea for me, like I absolutely love it. Eva says no coffee for me. I'm green tea drinker. Yeah, I am also a green tea drinker. Like, oh yeah, Rachel's also a green tea fan as well. Yeah, I absolutely love it, and it's just yeah, as long as I have green tea in the house, I'm pretty much set. Yeah, for me, I don't know. I don't know if it's the taste of coffee. Like it's funny because like part of my job, like where my role was like basically kind of a coffee store as well. Um, and yeah, I didn't necessarily like it very much, so I couldn't enjoy it as much as other people when everyone was in the office drinking coffee, because I was like, oh, I don't like coffee, so I'm just gonna go and drink my green tea instead and enjoy that. So yeah, but green tea is vile. Tried it when I tried to be healthy. No, no, no. I know everyone has their own preferences. I mean, like I don't like coffee, whereas like some people probably like don't like green tea. I like the smell of coffee, but I cannot drink it. I don't sleep. Yeah, do you know what? I don't mind the smell of coffee. Like the smell is fine for me. I think for me it's just the taste. Um, oh yeah, it's pucker tea. It's expensive. Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah, I don't think I've ever bought it before. I don't even know if I pronounced that right. So let me know if I didn't. Had it without the milk because apparently it's healthy. Like, oh really? People drink green tea with milk. Do you guys drink green tea with milk? Because I do not. I don't do that. I drink green tea, water on its own. Like before, like ages ago before, I did used to have it with honey, but I don't even have it with honey anymore. But like, do you guys drink it with milk? Will you let me know? Because that's interesting. If you drink it with milk. Um, Flavored green tea. Yeah, like I need to try like some of these. I feel like I need to maybe venture onto different types of green tea, see what it's like. I'm a coffee holic. Yeah, yeah, £3 per wow, £3 per box. Is that for the pocket tea? Wow, I don't know if I'll be spending £3. Although again, it just depends on what I value. Like I'm just happy to just have simple green tea, and it will set me up for the day. So yeah, yeah. Let's do a tropical one. Oh, okay, which is nice. Or Twinings do mango and lychee. Oh, okay. I'll need to like start. Yeah, I need to start venturing out because I literally just have the same herbal tea all the time, but I'm quite boring. So I haven't tried it with milk. Yeah. Oh, technically, yeah, yeah. I've never tried green tea with milk. I remember my sister one time. I think she'd never made green tea. Like she's a lot younger than me, and she like then had it with milk, and she thought that's like how you usually drink it, and she didn't like it, and from then she's like said I hate green tea, but it's literally because I think it's because she had green tea with milk. Green tea without milk and without sugar. Yeah, that's basically how I drink it. Yeah. Again, I used to put a little bit of honey, but I don't do that anymore. With lemon juice and a pinch of ginger is much, much better. Yeah, yeah, no, it'd be nice. Like, yeah, I like to have ginger tea as well. Like, even with fresh ginger, like ginger and honey, especially like if I'm not feeling well, it's good. Tastes good. Love my Tetley tea. I drink normal tea with milk, but green tea is supposed to have without milk. Yeah, 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 normal tea like you obviously like most people have it with milk, but yeah, green tea but probably without milk. Hey Verenia, I'm 25 and recently resigned from 25k sales job. Wow, toxic environment, 3k saved. Currently working in Sainsbury's part-time, studied law, wish to be a lawyer. Tips on being positive. Wow, I mean, honestly, like I can resonate, I would say, just because when I worked in recruitment, I absolutely like the second, because the first recruitment job I got redundant, like we all got made redundant. Second recruitment job I went to, and it was like I basically went in there because I was scared that I wouldn't be able to get another job in another industry. So I knew that because I have recruitment experience, I probably would get a recruitment job. I absolutely hated it. It was like I literally hated it, and for me, it did feel quite toxic. And I ended up quitting my job, and then basically just waited until I was going back to university to do my master's. So for like, I would definitely say like it's you really need to think about like your own mental health basically and your own happiness. And if like that job, like particularly with things like sales, because like with recruitment it's basically sales as well, like it is basically sales. So with those type of jobs it can be very intense, and there's just a lot of energy that can get sucked into it. So I would definitely say, like just start thinking about your next steps. Like obviously, like you've got some money saved up as well, and you've got some income coming in, which is good. What you now want to think about is, okay, like what am I going to be doing? Like what should I be doing next? Like, do I need to try and, I don't know, maybe get into different placements or internships? Like, do you need to like volunteer somewhere? Obviously, because you studied law as well, I know that there are some exams that you might have to take. Like, have you taken those exams? But almost just kind of seeing the job that you have at Sainsbury's almost as if like this basically is just helping you pay the bills at the moment, but it's almost like your investment into you thinking about, okay, what are you going to be doing in your next steps? Because yeah, even with me, I basically, when I quit my recruitment job, I actually ended up working as like what was I doing? I did like temporary agency work basically. So I was basically like an assistant for like different HR departments, and I was literally just like an admin assistant, like and that's what I did. But it essentially sort of just kept me ticking over until I was like going to be going back to university and stuff. So yeah, I would definitely say like definitely keep your head up. I have been in a similar situation. It's definitely not nice, but if you know you have a plan and you know that you do want to work in law, for example, you just really need to think about, okay, realistically, what do I need to do to make that happen? And almost just see the part-time job that you have is almost just kind of the investment to pay for your expenses, essentially. Finding new hobbies, maybe make a mood board, yep, with what you want your future to look like. Yeah, exactly. Set some mini goals as well. I definitely would agree with that. Just try and start setting a plan and just saying, what am I going to be doing next week, the next month, the next few months, and really just thinking about, how are you going to work towards that. I have to have the green tea with lemon. Only way I can drink it, and definitely no milk or sugar. Yeah, I don't usually have it with lemon, but I think lemon might make it fresh. Great for a cold, fresh ginger and honey tea. Yes, exactly. Definitely agree. It's really good for a cold. Definitely did the best thing. Exactly. Leaving a toxic workplace. Like, honestly, like I will commend you for that, because not a lot of people can be in the position to also leave, because they may have like a lot of different other financial commitments, or maybe they have a lot of dependents. But like the fact that you've been able to make that decision, like honestly, I'll commend you for it. And it's something that I've kind of done as well. I didn't necessarily have too much of a backup plan when I decided to leave. I kind of just said, you know what, like I'm leaving. So for me, well, my backup plan was basically, I knew I was going back to university, so I almost just quit like during the summer. So I kind of just went, you know what, like I'm sure I will. But I'm one of those people where sometimes I can be, I don't know, sometimes I can take a risk like that, and I just know that I will find something. Like it just kind of motivates me to find something even more. So yeah. Recruitment, yeah, you did well. Yeah, I will be the first to tell you, recruitment is no joke. Like it's tough. Like and people have targets, and like I remember in my old job, like they just fired someone just like that because they hadn't made any deals, which essentially means that they hadn't matched candidates with jobs. Because essentially you make a commission. You'll basically make a commission if like someone applies for the job, they interview and they get the job. That company will then pay the recruitment consultancy like a certain amount, like a commission. So yeah, because like one of my colleagues, she'd been working there for a few months. She hadn't actually like basically made that deal, she hadn't actually, you know, got a successful candidate yet, it basically fired her. So yeah, it's not for the faint-hearted, I will say. Like there's a lot. I remember my other one, the one that we all got made redundant in my first one, and that was literally because they basically fired the manager, and there was no one to head that office, and they were like, do you know what, we're just gonna get rid of the office. So that's basically how it happened. Like yeah, so because of that, I'm literally always like, yeah, I don't know, like I will go for something because I'm like, like, and again, I think that's why like financial independence and security is just something that's so close to my heart, because I've been made redundant, and things like that. So I'm like, no, if this happens to me, I want to be in a better position. So yeah. um Yes, all exams are done. Oh, congratulations. Just need to secure a law job, which will train me to be a qualified lawyer. However, it's so competitive, but you're completely right with the plan. God bless you all. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, and I know because my friend works in law as well, and it can be really competitive. But it's just something where you just have to keep going, keep doing it, and knowing that, you know, trust the process, and knowing that you will find something in the end. I mean, like for me, even to like get my graduate job, it took me so, like, if you guys have seen my career story, then you know, like it took me quite a while, and it was very stressful, and yeah, it was very upsetting. But yeah, it's hard. Like it is really hard, but you just have to keep going. You just have to keep going, and no matter what, just know that you're like, the only thing you could do is do your best. And if you know you've done your best, then you should be like literally so happy that you've still been able to make strides, you know, no matter what happens. um must be, but I think you're over the scariest part. Yeah, definitely. You have a bright future ahead of you. And yeah, exactly. Like, honestly, like, I'm so proud of you for doing that. So thanks so much for sharing that as well. Do you have any advice for staying motivated while paying off debt? Yes. So you guys, well, if you don't know, if you're new to my channel, then you might not know that I have also been in debt. Like, actually, it's been 3 years ago. Yeah, almost this month, basically. Like, for about 3 years ago. The one thing I'd say is almost kind of consuming so much more about like things when it comes to like paying off your debt, like in terms of content and things like that. That's really what helped me. So what I used to do is, when I was like kind of feeling bad, like, oh my gosh, am I actually going to be able to pay it off? What I'd be doing, I used to actually just go on like Dave Ramsey videos, like when they used to call in like about their debt. Like, I would literally just sit there and just watch those videos, because I saw that people were also in a similar position to me. And like, particularly in America, like a lot of people are in huge amounts of debt. I'm talking like some people are in like $1 million worth of debt and things like that. And I used to be like, oh my gosh, like, okay, like I don't need to be, it's not that I don't need to be so upset, but it was just basically like, I almost like appreciated that I don't have as much debt as I thought I would, especially when you like hear other people have like hundreds of thousands of dollars of debt. So for me, it was kind of like, okay, realistically, like if they can work towards paying off that much debt, then I have no excuse not to pay off my own debt. And so I kept doing that. And I think like even just I don't know, like just even like still like reading books, like consuming that knowledge, and then almost like you can still learn about things like, you know, budgeting, saving, even things like investing. I started learning, even though I didn't start investing, I still started learning about it, so that by the time I paid off my debt, I already had a solid plan where I said, okay, I'm going to be saving up for my emergency fund, and then I'm going to start investing, and I already know what I'm going to be investing in. So there are still certain things you can do. Like, I was still going to like networking events because I was really interested in like property investment. I was still going there, and knowing that obviously I'm still paying off my debt, but it motivated me because I knew that after I pay off my debt, these are like some of the things that I can really start working towards. And it almost motivated me to even pay off my debt really quickly, actually. So yeah. Oh gosh, quite a few comments. Like, I'm conscious of time as well, so I'll probably stay on for until about 8 o'clock. Yep, I made a debt ladder. Yep, when I pay off. Imagine the amount of exactly that would be free, like once you pay off your debt. And for me, that was a big thing. Like for me, knowing like that I would be debt free and I don't have to worry about payments, or literally if I lost my job, I wouldn't have to worry about those payments. I was literally like, I have to keep going. Like there's the like it has to happen. It has to happen. So yeah. Yep, helps to see how much you've paid. Yeah, for me, I also kept looking at my net worth statement, so I would be updating it every month. Like again, if you guys like have my budget template, then there's a net worth statement included in that. But you can then start to see how much your net worth is basically improving each month because you're attacking that debt, and because it means that you have obviously less liabilities than you would have the past month if you've been like paying off your debt. So yeah, all really good points. I worked at Halifax when I was in my early 20s, and the older ladies who had worked there a while were, oh, ageist and bullied, so I left. Oh, good, and got a job at JP Morgan. Wow, exactly, Rachel. Never settle. Honestly, like if there's times where you need to change a situation and you can, go for it. Go for it. So I'm so proud that you were able to do that. Wow, thanks for sharing that, Veronia. Yeah, God bless. Thank you. Yeah. Oh no, I'm always glad to help. Yes, almost at 5K subscribers as well, which is absolutely amazing. So if you guys aren't subscribed to my channel, it's free. Like, so yeah, be sure to subscribe to my channel. But yeah, honestly, I can't believe it's been like almost 18 months. Like it's crazy since I first started my channel. Like it's so funny because my videos, like the content is still really good, but the editing is horrific. So if you ever go to my old videos, then yeah, you can look at that. Benefit, yeah, very well done. Yep. Paying off 5K in credit card debt. 1K down and feeling really left out with my friend. Yeah, do you know, one thing I did though, actually, good point, because you've just mentioned, feeling left out while your friends still go out and party. I went off social media whilst I was paying off my debt. So for 18 months, the only thing I had was basically WhatsApp. So I deleted Instagram off my phone. I deleted Facebook off my phone. I even had Snapchat at the time. I deleted that off my phone because I knew that if I wanted to really pay off my debt, I didn't want to be seeing people going out all the time and me just like feeling really upset because I know that I'm trying to basically reach my goal. So for me, I actually just came off social media, and I basically came off social media, and then at the same time I was always consuming content, whether that be like YouTube videos or reading books and things like that, just to really start changing my mindset and just to make sure, just to, I guess, keep me motivated. That's probably one of the best things I did. And that's probably a big reason why I was able to pay off my debt quite fast, because I didn't increase my income during that time as well. And I still managed to pay it off in like 18 months, which was amazing. Will you spend for Christmas this year? I won't be seeing anybody. I don't know. I mean, I have money for Christmas. Like you guys might already remember. Like I've been saving up for Christmas since like January, and then I think it got to like 6 months, and I was like, I've actually got quite a lot of money for Christmas saved up. I don't think like so I decided not to save up anything anymore. But yeah, I've got some money for Christmas. I don't know if I'll spend it, but it's there. So I probably will spend it, but it's there. 1 million in student loans on, yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. If you are from the US, like, let me know, like, hi as well. Like, it's always nice to see people from across the pond. I always say, don't compare yourself to others. They're living their life and you're living yours. You never know what their finances are like. Yeah, exactly. They could be relying on credit card. Yes, guys, you'll be surprised at how many people are using debt to finance their lifestyle. Like, honestly, like, that's why, like, you always want to stay in your own lane. And like, even though like when I was looking at like Dave Ramsey videos with people that had all this debt, it wasn't for me to be like, oh my gosh, like they have all this debt, but it was almost for me to say like, you know what, if they can do it, I can do it too. And like, if people are able to pay off their debt, then it almost inspired me to do it. But I would never be like, like seeing other people like going out to restaurants and being like, oh my gosh, they have so much money. Because like most people, like a lot of people, you'll be surprised, like they'll be using debt to finance their lifestyle, and you don't realize. Yeah, Chris. Few comments. Christmas is for family and friends, staying safe. Yeah, not expensive gifts. Yeah, yeah, it is a religious festival, yeah, which some have, yeah, forgotten. Yeah. So for us, I think yeah, it's I don't really plan on spending I don't really plan on spending much, to be fair. Um yeah, you'll be better off without the debt. 100% agree. Try to invite your friends for home. Yeah, that's kind of what I did as well. Like I tried to get them to come like to the house or do like games nights and things like that instead, so that you wouldn't have to go out as much, because yeah, sometimes like the debt can be, especially things like credit card debt, like the interest is so expensive. So for me, I'm always like, you really want to try and attack it as much as possible. Once you've done that, you can almost take your foot off the pedal slightly, and that's when you can really start like thinking about how you can also plan for your future, but then also enjoy your money as well. Yeah, Christmas is family time, 100%. Like I've never really been with the idea of like having all of these expensive presents in the first place. um so yeah, with us actually, when we last did Christmas, we did like one of those things where kind of like Secret Santa, where we basically choose someone in the family, like someone gets allocated a person. Makes it so much easier, because then you only need to buy one present instead of a whole load of different presents. So yeah, you could potentially do that. Yeah, we'll always never scam. Yeah, HMRC will always find you. But yeah, guys, I think I'm gonna leave it there because yeah, I think I'm going to leave it there because it's now 8 o'clock and we're going to eat dinner now. So thanks so much for joining me. It's always so lovely speaking to you all. And remember again, yeah, if you are a woman, obviously feel free to check out the training. I'm so excited. Been doing the content this weekend, and yeah, it's a lot of content. So make sure you bring your pens and papers. And yeah, I hope you all have a good evening. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to DM me on Instagram as well. And I think I'm going to leave it there. So, yeah, enjoy your evening, guys, and we will speak soon next month. Bye.